what's going on? So we're doing a complete 1-year review of TradeZella. Welcome on in to the channel, and I figured after now having this for about a year, today is the literal day actually that I'm renewing my subscription to TradeZella. I want to go over my experience with the platform. Was it useful? Has it been useful? Why I'm renewing it? And then, would I renew it if it was more expensive, etc. So I believe I'm renewing it for about $400 for the year. It is something that you can pay monthly as an option if you were not sure if you wanted to use it for the entire year. But I am going to, I tend to be the one when it comes to different, trading resources. For example, something like TradingView, I'll buy the yearly subscription versus the month to month. This I'll buy the yearly if I can versus the month to month, because you do save a little bit of money. And if I'm going to use it, I might as well, right? So something like this is now a staple in my own trading, and I don't think that I would trade without it at this point in time. Maybe at some point, but I think this is a great way to track data that would be, for me, a bit more difficult to track or just time consuming to try to figure out and track on my own. So you're essentially paying them to do a lot of the heavy lifting and the math and all the calculations for you. Yeah, you could do a lot of it on your own, but there's also some added features too that they've recently added that are pretty freaking cool. And I want to show you at least one of those that I've been just recently was pulling up and thought was awesome in terms of reviewing trades. Like, you literally, this is the best way, in my opinion, to review trades, hands down. There's no other way, seriously. So I've got the current week that I'm filming this video pulled up on the screen. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to release the video, but this is the current week that we've got. And we are looking at a win rate of 60%. It's only been 6 trades this week. And we've got a positive P&L of $135. Really, to be honest, it's been pretty boring. The market's just kind of this choppiness. It hasn't been very clean price action, and I'm more of a momentum trader. And so far this week, staying green to break even is totally fine, because when things start to align better, I'm going to be happy. Now, okay, diving deeper into this, I do want to go over this past month. I'll go over this month so that there's more data, so we can look at more information. I am red on the month as we speak. It's actually currently it's like halfway through. This could be on pace to potentially be my first red month since February, I believe, which is pretty crazy. But there'll be red months along the way. It is what it is. Our win rate is substantially lower than what we've been averaging this year, which is like 55+%. So that's a good part to why. Our average win-loss is pretty good. But in a nutshell, you're going to get a pretty quick overview of your stats. And this is just one way to kind of keep tabs on what's going on. But is this something that is like super detailed, super deep dive? No, we're not there yet. Now, as you dive deeper into this, let's say I wanted to go to an individual day. Here is where things are a lot more fun, if you will. So let's go to today, for example. So I had this IWM trade, Tesla and NVIDIA. We essentially made back the losses plus $6 on IWM or on Tesla from the IWM losses. And then NVIDIA, we had a flat trade. So it went my direction. I moved my stop loss to flat to break even, and then it stopped me out. Choppier market is what it is. That's totally fine. I just didn't want to go red on the day. That's the deal, because I knew the environment we had. I can add notes to my given day. So for example, if I had to add notes, I can add notes right here. And I don't always do this, but I might. If, there was something that I really wanted to jot down and add, boom. And I'll always have these notes. They'll be saved to that day. Okay. And there'll be a little bit of a note sign here once I add a note. That's cool. I go to view details is where things get more interesting. So now inside of here, we have the date, the P&L, and then we have the trades. So I'm going to go into IWM, this trade right here. Here is where it will give you a massive detailed view. You're going to have the chart of the stock you trade. If you trade options, you're going to have the chart of the option contracts you trade right here. You have your running P&L. You can attach an image, which I actually have done many times if I have my own indicators, my own lines. I don't really need to do that too much, to be honest, right now, because it's pretty straightforward. Based on when I review the trades, I pretty much know what I'm looking at. But if I had a lot of lines or things on my own chart that I want to add, I'll add that there. Then right here, I'll come down and add some notes. So I added some notes off this trade, and things I should have done better was I should have played next week's contracts, and I got stopped out a little bit too early. And I think those are a combination because this week's contract's a little more volatile. If I got to next week, I could have held through the back test, which still would have been valid for the trend to the downside, and then ended up reaping the rewards of the trade because these contracts I got in, I'll tell you exactly where I got in. I got in at 219 and I stopped out at 189, and they ended up going to highs of around 250. So they would have got a nice push in my direction. Would I have taken total profits? I don't know, maybe, but this trade would have worked, right? I can also tag them with different setups and mistakes, and then I can go back in the detailed section or the report section, and I can look at different tags that I've made for each trade. So for example, my setups, mistakes. I had a lot of setups, guys. A lot of setups. And what I've come to realize, which was one of the best parts about it. Now, could I have figured this out on my own? Sure. I'm not sitting. This video. The point of this video is not to sit here and like TradeZella, it's the best. Buy it. Like you can if you want, but I'm trying to give my honest take. I could track these things. There were maybe even cheaper trading journal options, or I could have done it for free. I could have tracked this. It would have taken a lot more time. Would it be useful? Maybe it would have been more useful because I would have had to really kind of analyze a bit more. Maybe. But was that time worth it for me versus pay for one thing for an entire year, okay, and then have this be done for me so I can kind of come in, get in quick, get what I got to do, and then move on, right? Understand my numbers, understand my mistakes, blah, 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 and move on. I think that's, to me, it was worth it. Now, so throughout this, I had all these different setups, and I was trading all this random shit last year, the beginning of this year. And what I found was that there was too much all in here. Some of these are just stupid setups. Let's be honest, stupid. They're just stupid in my opinion. But I've brought it back essentially to trading one strategy, one setup to the upside and the same thing to the downside. And there's criteria that has to be met up and down to trade it. But essentially that's what I came to. And that's because I tracked my setups. If I didn't track my setups, I wouldn't have gotten to that. And so by doing that, I realized that there is a specific style and a specific setup that has a much higher probability that gives me enough of an edge that I could trade over and over and over that works going up, works going down. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit less, a lot less probable in choppy markets. So that's more of a time where I, to be honest, have to say to myself, step back. We don't have to trade in a choppy environment. But I think it works great. And so for me, that's what I found to work. And that's what I found through journaling, through tagging my setups. So for example, if I go to the report section, it'll have, this is by this week, let's go to this month so you can see that it's negative or it's red. So go to the month and you'll see that we have all our data, our averages, our average hold time on losing trades, average hold time on winning trades. Honestly, when you look at this data, like there's a lot of stuff in here that you can really pull from. And what you might find is that our average losing trades are short. What does that mean? It's generally like the stop loss gets hit. That's probably what happens. Our average winning trades are a little bit longer. So if we are in trades for, over 30 minutes, that's telling me that the trade works. It's moving in our direction. We're probably locking in gains and scaling out. And the more data, the better. A lot more that you can dive into here, trade expectancies, all this stuff that you can log and track yourself. Now, the more you log, the more you track, the better. So it's kind of one of those things where the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. Now, they're doing a ton of the work for you. They're going to give you a ton of information as it is. But the more you track, the more you add, the more you're going to get out. If I go to detailed, the detailed section, this is where things are awesome. I go by day. So you can see that by day, Wednesdays, for whatever reason, are my best day of this month. Friday's not so good. Thursday's not so good. Tuesday, Monday, not as terrible. So it tells me that as I get towards the end of the week, got to be careful, right? You can go by week. You can go by time in the trade or by time of day that you're trading, which is pretty cool to track and to follow these things. So to be honest, I've actually been better in the power hour. I've been better towards the middle and late of the day. Early in the day, we're getting more choppy action, getting stopped out a lot. That's what's been happening this month. That's what I've been taking away. And so I've been trying to avoid some of that. Trade duration, it tells you all that. Track your stacks. I don't want to go through every single piece here. There's a lot. So that's cool. Whatever. You can even go by instrument. So my stocks, NVIDIA's beast. I love NVIDIA. And then, what's my worst? IWM, my worst. And so the last thing that I want to mention is in terms of actually adding trades, super easy to do. I didn't broker sync. I guess I could do this. But yeah, Webull is not available actually right now, so I can't. But if I wanted to sync my broker, I could just connect my broker and then automatically this will all populate, which is super cool from my understanding. But if I didn't want to do this, what I have been doing is a file upload. So I'll have a video on the screen, and they even show you here how to the step-by-step how to do it. But I go to my history, go to today, download the file, upload the file from my. It's right here. I already uploaded it, but this is the file right here. Pop it in, and then give it a second. It'll load up, and I already imported this, which is why we have an error. But then it would import today's trades like that. So it literally takes the CSV file from Webull and drops it in. Now, Webull gives you, I think, 3 CSV reports. One is like shares, one is something else, and then IPO, and then we have options. I just download the options. If you trade shares and options, download everything, put it all in, great. But I only get one report that's actually useful for me from Webull for the given day. The last thing I want to mention, there's some more stuff, more information here on it, but the last thing that is fairly new, that is, I think, one of the most, I mean, if there was a reason, if you were like on the fence, and if there was a reason to kind of pull a trigger, like, I'm not trying to sell it, but like this to me, if I was on the fence and I saw this, I'd be like, no, this is, I'm done. Take my money. Take my money. I take it, because this alone can make and save you so much by itself. So let's go to today's Tesla trade. I can select the trade that I want to pick. I have the chart populated right here. I'm going to go to 5-minute candles. Okay. Populate my 5-minute candles. Okay. We can see the time frames. I can customize my chart if I wanted to. There's a settings feature, whatever. Cool. That's not the point of this necessarily right now. I got Tesla. Here's the open of the day, right? I'm going to go to 20x speed and I'm going to play it out. I can play Tesla out literally to see how it played out and how price action worked. I'm going to even go 30x speed to show you guys faster. It's going to have time and sales down here, level 2 down here. It's going to have all my trade stats on the left. I can add tags as we are literally watching the trade review back. It has my exact times of executions right here, all of that. And as I watch the trade play out on the screen, not to mention it's like a little dark mode. I like that, easier on the eyes. I can add my indicators and stuff to my charts if I want to, whatever. That's besides the point. Watch Tesla. I'm watching Tesla, and then watch when I enter the trade. It's literally going to tell me it's going to be a few minutes. It's at 9 a.m. So it's once we get to right here. I'm going to be able to replay my Tesla trade. When I got in, when I took profits, when I stopped the last contract out. So I'll walk you through that as the last piece of the video. So in this case, I see Tesla pushing down towards lows. I see Tesla staying. It was actually below VWAP. We're staying low. I like the pressure on lows. It's been weak the past couple of days. So I wanted to short it. I got in at a down towards low of the day break. That's where I entered. So I entered 4 contracts at 281 on these contracts. And once I got in, it was kind of a choppy move. We ended up getting a nice little move down. I was up, but it wasn't a lot. We were kind of just like treading water, and it was not awesome. Kind of back tested a little bit here. And then eventually we ended up seeing a nice flush down towards lows, but it did take some time. This ended up taking 25 minutes until I took my first take profit. And then 30 minutes, I took my next 2 take profits. And I can see that through my executions right here. And it will show you the check mark saying that we've got 1 execution in. The other 4 have yet to happen. And so I wanted to scale out of this trade. So it starts to come back. I actually was maybe briefly red on the trade. Then it starts to get hammered down. Boom, we're going to low of the day. Took profits. I was at around 10 or so % on that, on those contracts. Took the first contracts off, took some profits there. Then next take profit was into the new low of the day there. Boom, next take profit hit. And the next one hit, boom, just like that. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going to let this thing kind of play out. I want to see Tesla go even lower. And I had the price that I was looking for was around 350 on the option. So on the left-hand side of the screen, we have a 281 entry on 4. First scale at 310, second at 315, third at 325. And I'm like, okay, if we get 350, I'll go all out. or I want to put a stop loss at 3 in case it back tests, and it did. It back tested. I stopped back out at 3 just in case it would have come back red, and it actually would have gone red on me briefly. And that was the way I played it. So I can replay all that, and I can say, hey, was that a good stop? And I can go back in if I have indicators that I like. For example, VWAP, add VWAP in and say, hey, was this a valid stop? Should I have stayed in? And I can adjust the charts, check it all out and say, you know what, maybe I should have stayed in because you know what, VWAP never was breached. Maybe I use an EMA and whatnot. And I could say, you know what, I could have stayed in this trade and actually held through if I hadn't stopped out so early, yada, yada, right? So I can even just go fast forward this guy all the way to right now. And look, we stayed below VWAP. I'm literally reviewing the trade right now. We stayed below VWAP. And then guess what? Now Tesla's going for a new low of the day. So I would be up more on these contracts. So you can see, right, how this by itself is huge because it has your executions. It's got it all logged in. Add your charts, add your stuff as you need to, and you're good to go. All right, so back to TradeZella, back to the overall thoughts. If it was a bit cheaper, I'll be honest, yeah, it would be a lot easier to recommend it. It's on the higher end. It's going to be somewhat expensive, but if you are someone who's trading with larger than, one contract of options and larger than like one contract of micro E-mini futures, the P&Ls that you'll be able to achieve and the money that you can save on the backside, it doesn't matter. You're going to be fine, right? It's, for the year, it's a couple $100, and realistically, people can lose a lot more than that. Blow up accounts, thousands of dollars, easily tens of thousands of dollars sometimes in a year, right? So by tracking your trades, it's going to help minimize the downside, and it's ideally going to hopefully maximize or help you maximize, give you what you need to help maximize your upside. So with that said, I do want to also take it back to go back to 2022, lost a lot of money. Go back to 2023, first 2 months, lost a lot of money, was really testing out different strategies, seeing what setups worked, figured out what setup worked by April. From April through July, I have been green every single month. So far in August, we are technically red. Still got a lot of month to go. We'll see if that ends up coming back. I did also up the size a little bit as we began the month, a couple of days in, which is why we had a little bit of some learning curve there. And then ever since then, the market's been kind of choppy, hasn't been super clean in price action up and down. And so we haven't really been able to have a really nice trending day or momentum day up or down to be able to kind of have some really nice green. So a lot to kind of unpack personally, but with that said, that's kind of besides my own stuff to talk about, but that's what I'm learning from TradeZella. I'll leave a link to it down below if you want to check it out. It is an affiliate link, so I do get a piece of that, but I'll be honest, I don't want this video. It's not the point of the video is not to be buy TradeZella. No, it's expensive, but if you are someone who is not willing to do all the work to track your trades, you want the trade replay feature and other features that maybe you can't track on your own, and you say to yourself, I trade with enough size, or even if you don't, I find value in this, that I think it's an investment in my own trading, it totally could be worth it for you. So I'm curious your thoughts. If you have any thoughts, experiences with TradeZella, leave them in the comment section down below. Happy to see you down there, or even let, if you have other thoughts and stuff, let other people know. Let everybody else know who's watching this video down in the comment section. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.